Hey guys, there we got natural logs. Natural logs, we did E on Friday because we're going natural logs today. Natural logs have base E and they look like this, like ln4. Even though it's called natural logs, written like log natural. And you'll just see ln4, really that means this. It really means there's a base E, which means you're trying to figure out E, which remember is 2.71828. E to some power is 4. You gotta try to figure that out, which obviously we can't, so we're gonna use our calculator a lot for some of them. All right, here we go. First thing you're gonna do in your assignment today is just have some just natural logs to work out. All right, now here's the deal. You gotta use common sense here. This says natural log E cubed. That really means this. Look at this. It really means E base E cubed. So it's asking you E to what power is E cubed? The third one, 3. E to the third is E to the third. So anytime you have a natural log and an E, a natural log and an E, a natural log and an E. I can't say this out loud, but they cancel. They don't really cancel. Really, it's just the exponent is the answer because it's asking you E to what power is E cubed. This one's asking you E to what power is E to the -4, a -4. This one's asking you E to what power is E to the 1.8, 1.8. Now, when you get down here, there's no such thing as a negative log. I don't care if it's an log or an ln. You can't even do that. That's not possible. Being NP, not possible. This one, natural log 1, is asking you E to what power is 1. Remember, that would be 0 because anything to the 0 power is 1, even E. Now, when you get here, it's asking you E to what power is 645. We can't do that one. So you're on your calculator, right below your log button, there's an ln button, which I just now hit ln, 645, and it tells you 6.469. All right, same thing on the next one. There's no E with it, so you really have to punch that one in your calculator because there's no other way to do that one. Negative 6.075. And you can punch it in. You want to stop the video, punch those in, make sure you see how to do that. Again, the ln button, the natural log button, right below the log button. Okay, ln has base E. Okay, and of course we're gonna graph them also. Now the thing is, it's base E. All right, base E means it's bigger than 1, so it's like kind of like log growth, I guess. So still have an asymptote right through your y-axis. Still gonna have a point 1 to the right. Your second point, though, remember this is base E, so it's really this. It's really natural log E to the x power. E to the x. So because it's base E, and I want this to be 1 right there, I want it to equal 1. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do natural log E. I'm gonna plug E in for x because that would give me a 1. I want that to make sense to you. That would give me 1. So if I go E for x, that's really 2.7. So I'm going to go to the right, 2.71828, and up 1 on my graph, which is going to look like this. There's my second point. The same thing you were doing. I hope it makes sense. The same thing you did last week. You always want that to be 1 because, well, you want the log to equal 1. You got to figure out what to put in there to make it equal, make your log equal 1. And this time it was E because EE, that's 1. So your graph, let me change color here real quick. Your graph is going to be closer and closer to your asymptote. It's going to come up, curve over just like that. Let's try another one. Okay, this is the same thing. It says natural log of x plus 3. All right, so I'm going to go left 3 for my asymptote, right there. I'm going to go 1 to the right to get my first point. To get my second point, because our base is E, which is 2.71828, in order to make this somehow, that parentheses equal 1 like we did the other day, it's going to be really hard to get that because it's irrational. It's going to be hard to make it equal 2.71828. So what I'm going to do instead today, after I get my first point there, I'm going to plug this into y equals on my calculator and go to table. Use your table. I've shown you that before. And find a second value. Like I'm looking at my table right now, it says 0 and 1.09, which is about right there somewhere. And then I'm going to connect the dots, la la la. Just like this. And they're good to go. All right, so use your table function. Okay, last one. This one says 4 times natural log x, which means, don't forget what that means. That means we have a vertical stretch by 4. It doesn't shift left, right, anything, so it means my asymptote is still at the y-axis. It's like that. and I am gonna go one to the right like always. Start there. Now, my second point, I'm pull up my table, and I did this for you in this picture. I went ahead and punched in my calculator and pulled up table. That's what your table should look like. The reason all these say error is because that would make the log negative. Remember, you can't have a negative log. So you can pick any of those points you want down there. I'm gonna go with, you go to the next one, 2 and 2.7. 2, 2.7, or 2.8 is about right there. So really, that 4 in the front is going to really stretch this thing, make it pretty steep. That's what it's doing. So I'm going to draw my graph right through. That's not a very good one, but right through there, hopefully you can still see those points. There was a point here, a point there, and that's not a very smooth curve there, but I'm trying. Okay, so not just really the same stuff you've been doing, except for natural log instead of log log. And so I'm going to make sure you're familiar with that base E. When you see ln, it's base E. Your assignment will be a Google Doc. I looked at Delta Math. It's just not good yet, so it doesn't match up real with what we're doing. So look for your Google Doc, and we'll talk later. Oh, we'll have our Google Meets on Wednesday again. Okay, so be ready for that on Wednesday. Same time, same class time. I'll give you the exact time tomorrow.